Two mummified bodies were dug up. Locals claimed that they had the key to a mysterious legend. When you are in love, you always want to be together, and when you are not, you are thinking about being together because you need that person, and without them, your life is incomplete. True lovers always stay together no matter what happens till the end of the death. True lovers always hold each other's hand. Recently, a surprising event happened in Spain, which blew away many people's mind and forced to think how that happened. 300 years after a romantic drama unfolded in Teruel in Spain, workers dug up two bodies, and the most surprising fact that both bodies were mummified after they were holding each other's hand. Locals are telling different stories about those mummified bodies. Let's figure out in details. The story started in early 1200s when two families had risen to the top of Teruel's social hierarchy. A marriage in both rival families can bring peace, also can remove all the hatred. But by the time a man and a woman fell in love here, one of their families were no longer very rich. So both of them started to get pressure from their families. Undoubtedly, the story went that the tragic lovers were brought together in the open eye in the end. Yet, unfortunately, our gathering didn't have a fantastic finishing, rather it finished badly and it became a mystery, until the bodies showed up in San Pedro Church in the 16th century. With that, the sweethearts' story appeared to be more genuine than any other time in recent memory. Let's look more details about them. In the early 13th century, the Marsella and Segura families held great wealth and status in Teruel, Spain, and Juan merchants called Diego came from the Marsella clan. Critically, in this society, the youthful pair was met and had adult together, and the schoolyard crush they shared didn't bother anyone. However, they both came from the same social circle. By the time they reached the age where they could put marriage on the table, Diego's situation had changed. Around then, Diego's family hit a difficult time. They weren't able to increase their financial condition, so Isabel's father forbade her from wedding her lover. And instead he struck up a deal with Isabel's father in order to secure her hand in marriage. Well, after that, Diego told Isabel's father that he could earn his daughter's hand. He asked for 5 years to build his own wealth to make him worthy of marrying Isabel. Surprisingly, her father accepted the offer, and Diego left town to start acquiring the money he promised. Isabel's father agreed with that proposal because he thought her daughter might find another man to marry in Diego's absence. Sounds very filmy, right? However, she told her father that she wanted to stay a virgin until the age of 20. Though her father didn't like Diego, also didn't want to see them together, but because of her father, he obliged her daughter's request. And the two of them waited for 5 years, but during that time no one ever heard anything about Diego. That's right, Diego's lack of communication brought many changes, and it was especially a problem with Isabel's 20th birthday approaching and the 5 years promise coming to a close. So they found another reputable suitor named Don Pedro de Azagra. Heartbreakingly, he and Isabel waited on the last day of the half-decade in which Diego could have earned her hand. Just as the ceremony ended, though, there was a disturbance at the gates of Teruel, and guards informed the Segura family that a familiar face had returned. The person was Diego. He carried the riches he had promised in order to marry Isabel. What's more, he very much wanted to do the latter. So why hadn't he arrived sooner? Well, Diego had miscounted the days he had to arrive in Teruel with his earnings. Yes, he hadn't counted the day he spoke to Isabel's father as part of his 5-year time frame. However, her father had which was his schedule the waiting on the day he had. As such, Diego had returned to Teruel too late, but the drama didn't end there. For Diego didn't want to give up on Isabel yet. Instead, the night after the wedding of Azagra, he snuck into her bedroom. As her husband slept beside her, Isabel woke up and saw Diego at her bedside, and Diego begged her for a kiss, supposedly saying, "Kiss me, for I am dying." Now perhaps he meant he was dying for a kiss. However, this is the way the story goes. But as Isabel had just gotten married, she had no intention of breaking her vow to Azagra. In fact, she responded to Diego's request for a kiss by saying God would not wish me to deceive my husband. Instead, she implored him to move on with his life. And as with all such stories, it wouldn't end well. Isabel told Diego to find someone and forget her forever, but Diego still asked Isabel to kiss him for one last time, and reminding Isabel that he was dying. However, she still refused to touch his lips. Diego was so upset and he couldn't handle that much pain because he is now permanently spared from Isabel, so he died at her feet. Really heartbreaking. Suddenly, Isabel's husband woke up and asked Isabel what happened. Isabel told everything to her husband. Her husband was surprised by seeing her wife's loyalty. Azagra and Isabel decided to bury Diego at their local church in a secret ceremony. Otherwise, Azagra might be blamed for the death of his wife's former lover. But Isabel decided to make a statement of her own at the secret burial service for Diego. In fact, she arrived for the funeral in her wedding dress, once again walking down the aisles. Now Diego may have died, but Isabel owed him one last kiss, the one she wouldn't give him in life. So she put her lips on his and shortly thereafter met the same fate as her love. Yes, you heard me right. Isabel dropped dead atop Diego's body, falling asleep eternally with the man she had always loved. It makes sense that such an explosive tale would become an enduring legend. And shortly after the lovers' deaths, Tarwell residents called for a joint burial, for this would allow the doomed lovers to be together eternally, even if they didn't get their chance in life. But that wasn't the end of the drama. 300 years later, people continue to tell the tale of the lovers of Tarwell. Perhaps at the decades past, Isabel and Diego become fictionalized characters. Maybe some didn't believe the pair had actually dropped dead when faced with the reality that they couldn't be together. However, in the 16th century, shockingly maybe, the story got some genuine authentication. At that time, workers descended on the church of San Pedro to restore the place of worship to its former glory. They uncovered two bodies, and as investigators got a question across: could they be the bodies of Isabel and Diego? Investigators confirmed that workers had uncovered the bodies of the doomed lovers, so their mummified remains went on display in the church in 1560. By the time the tale of the lovers of Tarwell had reached all parts of Spain, in a special tomb visitors could come and pay their respects. Indeed, their eternal resting place is as epic as the love story that defined their lives. Sculptor Juan de Avalos chiseled each of them and ornate coffin in the 20th century. While Isabel's features the Segura family crest, Diego's has the Marsilia clown's arms at the end of his. In any case, the most attractive part of the coffins must be the ethics figures on of everyone. However, the tomb contains one fascinating detail: the tragic lovers do not touch one another. Artist de Avalos did this to adhere the religious rules. As Isabel married someone else, she couldn't be touching Diego in life or in death. Indeed, not everyone was convinced that the bodies inside the marble figures belonged to Isabel and Diego. Although the 16th century investigation claimed the mummies were those of the famed lovers. Of course, such forbidden love stories have long inspired writers, such as Romeo and Juliet. So, the story of the lovers of Tarwell may have been fake, but to many it's very genuine. Ultimately, who read the story or visit the tombs, but the lingering mystery proves that love stories endure for the ages. And this is especially true of those that come with an ending as tragic as Isabel and Diego's. People may have different thoughts of belief about Isabel and Diego's love, but this story personally touched me. And one thing I must say, love never ends. Thank you for watching. Did you like the video? If you did, leave a like and share this with your friends. Want to see another video? Just comment below.